Welcome to the lounge and the indices report for the Asian section. But I just want to point out what's happening in the US and Europe. So with the S&P 500 here on the daily chart, we're simply looking at a wave 4 rally here, and that seems to be just on the 2-hour chart here. That seems to be possibly completing here. Would like to see it under the 1900 though to confirm that. This is the same for the European markets as well. So when we look at the DAX here, we're looking on a daily chart. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the European markets are a bit weaker than the US markets, so they've pulled down a bit further. So they're certainly on their way down into that wave 5 here. Okay, so over into the Asian area, when we look at Hong Kong, for instance, too, it's on a 4-hour chart here. So yeah, but same thing as well, the 1 and the 2 and the 3, and we can quite clearly see that this is in a corrective pattern here. Yes, it's possible that wave 4s can get more complex, so it's possible that they could all of those develop into, say, triangle patterns as an example, and spend more time in here. But basically, whichever way you look at it, this is appearing to be corrective, and yeah, and looking at 5 waves down here. So when we look at the Australian market, just starting with the daily chart here, and coming from the top here, this is like a different count as such, but 1 and 2 and 3 and an A wave, nice B wave and a C wave here for wave 4, and then we have 5 waves down here. Now, and that makes like the 5th wave here. So perhaps there can be mistakes made with this wave count. One of them, that it could be a more bearish count, and we looked at that yesterday with WBC and the bearish count there. That would make things look a little bit like, if I put wave 1 over here, for instance, and have this as wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 2 over here. So that means that we would be coming down for in this section here, we'll be coming down into wave 3 here practically. So we'd be looking at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here, and wave 3 and 4 and 5. So that's all possible as well, but then this count wouldn't line up with the US markets as well, because they and the European markets, because we're looking just for one more wave to the downside. So the only other way that I could sort of see this playing out here is, well, where are we here? And we've mentioned this before. So we're basically looking for 5 waves down here. The only other way I can see that occurring is from here, having wave 4 over here and wave 3 here as such. And then what this would make here would be wave 1 to here, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, this being wave 3, wave 4 here, and then wave 5 down to this point here. So the bottom line is that I'm unsure about the wave counts here, but the bias to have 5 waves down here making a new low is on the cards, and I think that we need to obviously take that on board. The other thing too is that we're under 5,000 now, so we need to be looking on the negative side of the market. It failed to find support here, so in a very simplistic but in a very right way as well, is that we need to be on this side of the market. So onto a 15-minute chart here, just to look at this here. I mean, technically, the move that we've been following here, maybe I can just go back to a 2-hour chart, see what I've done here, or maybe even 4. Let's have a look here. See, this is, if I followed on the correct count, then we would see a move down probably down to the 61.8% mark, so roughly about below 49 here would be the 60% mark. So it's possible that we would see this down here as an A and a B and a C wave to this point here, and then a move up here to make this just wave A here, so of an A and a B and a C wave. So I'm not throwing this out just yet, but you know, when you're looking at the other markets, it's quite a strong bias for the downside. So, but this 61.8% mark here for a wave B here, then a wave C is still on the cards as well. So I'm not throwing this out, but what we can do is we can just stay focused on what's happening in this space here. That would be the logical thing to do. So with that in mind here, this move down through here, it can be counted as 5 waves, but I've just labelled an A and a B and a C wave. Now, in this sequence here, this is wave 1 and 2 here, and we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 into here and 5 down here. So we're going to see a bounce into this space here as a little wave 4 into here, and then a wave 5 here. So I've got this as an A and a B and a C wave here for this B wave, and of course then if this was the original count would push up from that point, okay? However, we need to look at it in more of a bearish light as well. So if we take this, wherever this low comes in down here, we would look at this being also here, we could look at this as being wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, and then we would be looking at a 38.2 retracement level in here for this to play out here as wave 4, and then wave 5 down here. So a stronger, longer move to the downside here. So they'll both play out in the short term to, you know, to this point here. So a move up beyond that, and we know that we know where we would be. We would be on this C wave track up here, okay? But if it fails and moves down from this point here and follows the European and the US markets down, well, then we'll know where we are from here as well. So still be further to go down. 5 waves down here would give us an ABC correction, and then another 5 waves down. So we just need to navigate past this little point here, and we may be able to get some leads on some of the other European markets at that stage there. So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But next sort of position here is this is also the 50-60% retracement area here as well, right on the 49 here. So this is where all the choppy price action is going to be once it finishes into here. So be a bit careful here and be a bit patient. I mean, you've got to realize that that the strong move here has already occurred here. If you're day trading here, then this is where you would be looking for the short trade here, and that would simply be, I know it's hindsight, but it's always good to talk about it, is simply that the market's moved through 5,000, gone back and retested it, and then made a new low here. So that's where the short would be with the stop above here, and you'd play it down to the next largest number, which would be the 49. We get out and we wait for this move over here if it's going to occur, but we need to identify a corrective move here and not an impulse wave. Okay, cheers.